Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Intentional Carnivore. Glad you guys could join us tonight. We got some special guests with us, the Carnivore Couple. We have Patrick and Kate, and I am excited for them to be here and chat with you guys. I'm glad you guys could make it, and I know they're glad as well. So, thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. We're super excited, so we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I know this. You guys said that it's your first live,
Yeah.
so that's awesome, man. You got to start somewhere. Y'all be on here all next week or something, doing your own, running your own host show.
Yeah.
You guys have been killing it though. Y'all been doing really good, and I've been watching your videos and taking notes, just checking up and seeing and just trying to follow your journey. It's almost impossible like there's so many people in this space, and I try to keep up with a little bit of here, a little bit of there, you know.
Yeah.
But you guys are doing really good, man. So for those that may not know you guys in the crowd, why don't you just take a moment, tell them who obviously they know who you are now, but like, tell them a little bit about yourself and where your channel is and how you got started.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're the Carnivore Couple. I'm Patrick. She's Caitlin.
Yeah.
So we started YouTube March 8th or 9th, something like that. We started the carnivore diet like February 28th, so right like a week before we started YouTube. And we started this new journey with trying to lose weight and be healthy. And we decided, we both were like watching carnivore videos, and we're like, you know what? We can do this. Why not document our journey so we can hold ourselves accountable mostly? But then we found out, in the last like few months that the community here is amazing. Our subscribers are awesome. They're so encouraging to us, and we really appreciate it. It helps us keep going and to encourage them too as on their journey. So it's really been awesome.
I think it was about in February. I was really thinking about trying to lose weight, and I had been talking with my doctor about different ways to lose weight. And then Patrick had mentioned the carnivore diet. He had been binge watching all these videos about the carnivore diet, and so I got into it too. And then I was just talking to him, and I was like, all of our other diets have failed. We've tried keto, we've tried all these other diets, and I just was like, how about we start a YouTube channel together to keep ourselves accountable? Because I think that's one of the most difficult things is being consistent and staying on track. And for me, this community has been amazing because you've got, 1,000 people just cheering you on. And it's so encouraging in those moments when you're feeling really down or you feel like cheating or you're not consistent or you're not exactly sure what to do. Like this audience and this community is so knowledgeable and so encouraging, and I've never felt anything like it. And so we're just blessed to be here. We're blessed to start this journey together. As a couple, it gives us something fun to do together. So it's been really fun.
That's amen. Like that's one of the things that I found too is, I didn't start this until after I didn't start the YouTube channel until after I'd already been doing carnivore for about a year. So it was like I was really knowledgeable as far as like the who's who of the YouTube world. But like starting the channel and sitting down with some of those people, was I think that's why it makes me so nervous to talk with people in that now, because I've followed these people for a long time, and I respect them, and just being able to sit down and talk with them, it is nerving. But like the community here, obviously you have those outliers. There's some drama in this community, but the overwhelming majority of this community is just so encouraging. I mean, even not being on it a while, they just surrounded me and supported me, and I can't thank them enough, because it really has, not just for the channel, but just my journey as well, just kept me going. And, I've been on the journey for a while, so it's always good. And community is so important, So I heard something click. I'm like, what in the world's going on? We still at the house, but trying to get everything set up. You guys, if you have not yet, hit the like button, push it out. Let's get the name out there. And if you're not subscribed to their channel, absolutely. When this is over, don't leave now, because you got the chance to meet them. Their link will be in the description for you to just scroll right down there and give them a a subscribe and get them out too. Which everybody supports each other, like we said. So, how have you guys really found balancing the YouTube and having a child, your son, and trying to have some form of a date night relationship with your spouse as if you like them still, those kind of things,
Yeah. Well, we probably could be more scheduled and structured than we are. Life is just a little crazy with the little one running around, but basically we try to film together on the weekends. And then during our baby's nap time, I edit videos and then we put him out. And so,
and a lot of times we find ourselves filming like after he goes to bed at night.
Yeah,
so then we're trying to film, we're tired, we're trying to film. So we're trying to be, peppy and, have energy.
And we're like, we're dying. We're so tired. We've got so many outtakes because we're just like slap happy tired.
We should put a blooper video out sometime.
But it's just really fun.
It's been a weird balance, but we're still figuring it out, but we're fine tuning it. So
when y'all figure it out, y'all send me an email, call me on the phone, because I understand, trying to figure that out and date night and all that stuff. I mean, it can be overwhelming all by itself. Just the YouTube thing, man, can be overwhelming. So like I couldn't imagine doing it when my kids were small. Like I told you guys before, my kids are 15 and 12.
Yeah.
And so they're shut up in their rooms and are getting to that stage where they don't want a whole lot to do with mommy and daddy anymore. They want to do their own thing. So, but having them when they were young, running around the house, getting into stuff, oh my goodness, like my son, when he was about your son's age, me and my wife had went to bed one night and would get up, and he was always really good about not getting into stuff and not touching. He wouldn't even hardly touch stuff that didn't belong to him. And we come walking through the house one day, and there was, nothing dangerous in the house. He's sitting in the middle of the living room floor with about 10 bottles of vitamins poured out, B12, green tea, all this junk that I was taking poured out on the floor. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't know what he took. It scared me to death. He was fine. He's still alive and kicking and just as smart and headstrong as ever. But you never know. Thank God I'm on the carnivore diet and I don't add any of that stuff in anymore. It's not in the house. But
it's definitely been a different perspective, being on this side of the camera as opposed to watching videos. You just, before starting a YouTube channel, I don't think I knew what really went into people making videos. And so now that we're on this side, I have a much better understanding of the amount of time and planning that goes into it and editing. The easiest part is filming it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, explaining that to my wife, which she sees it obviously, but she's, she had this idea about shooting a video, and I was like, sweetie, we could absolutely do that. But what you don't understand is, like, somebody's got to film this thing, because if somebody doesn't film it, it's not, and if they're filming it, all the stuff behind the scenes, like, I had an idea, but like when you start actually putting in, the time and work and all, like there is a lot to it, and all the technology is new to me. Like, I did report writing on computers for when I was a medic, obviously. I know how to use it. I can cut a computer on, they teach us that even here in South Carolina, but these editing softwares, that's something else, man. So, but I don't know. But I'm learning to love it, though. Honestly.
Yeah.
So what have you come to like the most about making the videos? Is it just the filming? That obviously we talked about the editing.
For me, I enjoy filming. It's we feed off each other when we film, and it's kind of I don't know, it helps us bond more, I guess. But I enjoy the filming part, and then planning them, and then it's just it's rewarding then to post it and then have people comment and support us. It's very rewarding. So
I think just being able to document our journey and stay true and real to our audience. Don't hide if we're having a struggle, or how I kind of transitioned from carnivore to keto. just letting people know what's actually happening in your day-to-day life, so they know that if they're going through that same struggle or that same transition, that someone's walked that journey before, and we're not perfect, and we're doing our best to continue to live the most healthy lives we can. And just being able to do that and then look back at our old videos. Sometimes when we're losing weight, I sometimes don't even recognize the person in the mirror anymore because they look so different. And so being able to look back to where I was and then see where I am now, it's really encouraging to myself as well, and to see the struggles and the things that we've gone through.
100%. And you can't ever discount that, because like you'll never be able to understand the impact that you were able to have on somebody. You may be that one person that they relate with you, and they started out on carnivore and then went through a struggle, and they feel like a failure, and they feel like they're down, and they went to keto or low carb, or right in there, whatever, and like they're holding on because they see you doing it.
Yeah.
And you don't even know they exist, but you're that's critical, man, because that's how I found out about it, from talking with you guys. I understand. I would like for you to tell them how you guys found out about the carnivore diet. Like, how did you hear about it the first time?
So I regularly watch, guys like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, and then of course Michaela Peterson kind of goes into that. But listen to Joe Rogan podcast, him trying the carnivore diet, his success with it, but then him talking to Jordan Peterson about it. Then Dr. Shawn Baker was on the podcast, and that kind of sparked my interest. And then at the beginning of the year, so we had our son, he's 20 months old, and so we both knew we wanted to make a health change.
Yeah.
And beginning of the year came around, and we're like, okay, what are we going to do this year to get healthy, right? And the carnivore diet just came up again, and I started doing research. And for me, I know keto definitely didn't work, because we tried it a year ago and it just didn't work at all. We just cheated too much and tried to substitute things. But anyways, I did research on the carnivore diet, looked up Dr. Ken Berry, of course, and, Anthony Chafee and all the big doctors, Shawn Baker, and learned a lot about, what it is and how it affects your body, and ketosis and all this stuff. And I was like, one day I talked to Caitlin, I'm like, hey, Monday, whatever day it was, Monday, we're starting the carnivore diet. And she's like, all right.
That's the part I remember. He just came in one day and he's like, we're starting the carnivore diet. And I was like, what's the carnivore diet?
Congratulations, surprise.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so we're only going to eat steak. And we packed up all the bad food. We went to the store, we bought a bunch of meat. And I remember our first steak, I was like, this isn't that bad. This is pretty good. Are you sure this is going to work?
Yeah, it's amazing that you get to eat delicious meat, and it's a diet. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
right? You mean I can have all the bacon that I want?
Yeah.
That's all you'd have to tell me. So let me think about that. So basically, honestly, you were listening to Joe Rogan, man. That's how I found out about it. Joe Rogan, and there's probably untold thousands out there, man, but that have found out that same way. So those guys are doing work, and they'll never know it either. So we all have our part to play. Yeah. Back to the video thing. I was going to mention, what kind of background do you guys have? Like, what do you do for work, history stuff, like education, stuff like that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I am an HVAC technician, so I diagnose and repair furnaces and air conditioners, and I'm an indoor air quality specialist. So I specialize in duct cleaning, indoor air quality solutions, and radar mitigation, stuff like that. And I've been doing that for 10 years now. And
and then I was a elementary music teacher for about 7 years in a low-income school. Nothing changes your life as much as being in a low-income school and trying to minister to those kids who you don't know what their home lives are like, So I did that for about 7 years, but then I resigned from that job so that I could take care of our little baby. He was born 2 months early, and so he had quite a few medical interventions and things like that. So I'm home with him now, but I'm heavily volunteering. I run like a mom's group to help moms connect together. I'm the worship leader at our church. So just staying busy chasing a toddler really right now.
That's awesome. That's a full-time job by itself too. So you have a history. You got a background in music, then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I actually went to college. I started going to school for music, and then I got a few years into it. I was like, you know what? I need to do something different because I just lost the passion for it. So I went to a trade, but we still played. We both play on a worship team at church, So it's still part of our lives.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's awesome. Now, so
instruments.
Do what now? I'm sorry, I stepped.
Playing instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play?
Yeah,
play?
Do you play any?
Oh, do I play? No, I play the radio. Yeah, that's it. Like I can play the radio, Apple, iTunes. I actually took piano for 5 years when I was a kid. I played saxophone. I think it was 6th grade or 7th grade.
Okay.
I can read music. Every good boy does fine. And
ooh, good for you.
oh my goodness, I can't remember the other one.
Face.
That's it. That's the one. I could pick around a little bit still, but nothing major. Nothing like what you guys are doing. I love music. I love listening to music. Like one of the things that helped me. I actually wrote an email to Charity Gale.
Really?
Okay.
Last week because she has a song. Well, she's got many songs, but she has one song. God, and I knew this was going to happen as soon as I went on here. She's got "Thank You Jesus for the Blood," and then she's got another one. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me look it up.
We love Charity.
Endless Praise.
Yes, it's on that album. I've listened to it. Like I was listening to it.
Thank You Jesus for the Blood applied as our Easter choir song this year.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We love Charity Gale.
Yeah, she's great.
Anyway, long story short, I'm not going to go through my phone. I Speak Jesus. That's the name of it. Anyway, there's a spot in that song where I Speak Jesus where she says, I plead Jesus over all those basically suffering from addiction, those who are depressed. And like that song alone, like whenever I was in the deepest, darkest part of my depression, like it's something in that just like spoke to me. So like I wrote her an email to thank her this week because like I've been on this thing, I feel like we should be thankful for the people that have meant something, but not just be thankful. Like let's put actions with our words because words make you feel good. Talking about your situation might make you feel good. But if you don't put actions with your words, you're going to forget it. It's going to get old. It's going to get tired. People talk all the time. That's like, I'm sure you guys probably had these situations in your life. So did I. You try all these diets. You have all these plans and you say, I'm going to do this tomorrow. And when I explain about April the 17th, 2022, I say that there's nothing special about that day, except for that just happened to be the day that tomorrow is not going to work for me. Today is the day when I change my life. Today is the day whenever I make a difference. Today I'm grabbing a hold of it. Just like you guys, whatever day you started, that was the day you were like, tomorrow's not enough. And while you get to the point, like you said earlier, like that hit me. Like I just want to tell you, Kate, in your video where you talked about going from carnivore to keto and just being honest and just laying it all out here for everybody to see, like being completely honest with these people, that's a way more important than you having that many more carbs in your diet. Okay. Like obviously we all know that carbs, can cause us danger. We want to stay, as far away from it as we can. The difference between keto and ketovore and carnivore is that big. It really is. The difference between keto and carnivore and ketovore and the standard American diet is like way bigger than that, but that's as far as it can go on the screen and everybody still see it. But seriously, like, and it's funny how we go from eating however we want to, not caring and wanting to lose weight, to eating a certain way and then feeling guilty whenever we need something sustainable. And you don't have to feel guilty about that. You don't owe an explanation, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what hit me because I have the attention. No, and I was like, please don't feel guilty. You got to do what is sustainable and like what you can keep doing, because every step that you're taking is on the right path and doing phenomenal. You guys are killing it, man. You're doing great, and I want to encourage you guys, to just keep pushing forward. That's the main thing. Consistency.
Exactly.
Don't go fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really why I felt so strongly about my transition from carnivore, even though our name is Carnivore Couple, to more like a ketovore, because for me, I felt like if I couldn't add that variety, since I didn't like as many varieties of meats as Patrick did, that I just was not being consistent and I was being more tempted to cheat. And so if I can add in, like very low carb vegetables, that really helps me stay consistent. And like you said, consistency wins the game long term. And so we're definitely seeing the results from that.
100%. And anywhere you're at, you can always work on it. Just because you're an all carnivore, just because I'm B and E, or even those people that are on the lion diet, don't think you've achieved. You hadn't made it yet. I promise you. You're doing great. You're doing well. I've done great. They're doing great. Every single one of us can improve on something.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote an article maybe it was last week or this past week, and I said, look, getting our health in order and getting to that point where we're on, that puts us back at level ground. That doesn't necessarily mean we're thriving. That gives us the opportunity and potential to thrive. We don't have to focus on our health all the time. So that's the main thing, I do want to mention before we go much further, guys, if you have any questions or anything, you guys throw it in the chat for them so that they can answer some questions. I'll answer some questions. You just put a queue out there and we'll be more than happy to cover anything that we can. But if I don't see any, then we'll just continue just having a good old time with us and you guys. So, They got a babysitter tonight, I think, for a little bit, and was able to come out, but they ain't got all night. That time is precious. It's like gold. So, where do you see you guys? Where do you see yourselves in like 5 years? Like, what is like? All right, everything works out like you have planned right now. 5 years from now, where are you going to be?
That's a good question. So. We definitely want to grow our family, and that's one of the reasons that we started this journey, is to become healthier so we can have a healthy pregnancy in the future and not have another premature baby. So we definitely want to have more children, at least one more. And
then at that time, right now I'm staying home until our kids are both in school. But then going through that experience of having our child in the NICU for about a month really inspired me to, I'm going to be starting a career in nursing most likely. I would love to go be a NICU nurse. It's really difficult to understand how, sorry.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to understand what parents go through when you have a premature baby and they're in the NICU hooked up to all these machines and cords. And you can't help them, and they're so helpless, and there's nothing you can do but just pray,
Yeah.
And so that experience that we went through, because he was in NICU for 28 days, and that experience we went through was tough, but it is something that the nurses there in the NICU are amazing. And going through that, what she's trying to say, I think, is she has that empathy. She's been in their shoes. She knows what they're going through.
Just be able to be with those moms and encourage them and help take care of their babies even when they can't. They want to take them home. So I can see myself doing that within the next 5 years after our kids are all in school. So just to be a blessing and a light to them.
Absolutely, and you'll be able to do it with such a passion, because it's hard, because I was trying to think of the quote. There was a pastor, and he was talking about leadership, and he said, leaders can't be copycats. He's like, you can't point and tell. You can't, you can't, you can only reproduce who you are. And being able to minister or, reach people that are in the position where you were at, you know how they feel because you've walked in their shoes, and that will give you such a more clear picture of where they're at to be able to reach those people. So, it's multifaceted. And I would encourage anybody out there watching this, whether it's now, whether it's 5 years from now, like I'm looking forward to the health coming, the baby coming, and we look back at this video and however many years it's planned out for, and we're like, you remember when we sat there and talked that all these people in this community over here, they prayed for you, they whatever. If you say a prayer to the Lord, I encourage you to do that for this couple, and I can assure you, and I'm telling you now that I will be, because I can't wait. I'm going to look forward to coming back and seeing this conversation down the road sometime. And I hope that happens. What do you guys' family think about this whole journey with a couple?
Oh boy! So I mean,
does your family even know?
No, they know. So they know that I'm like losing weight and getting healthier, but they don't know how. So, but they're supportive of that, and I know that
my family's pretty supportive
too. Yeah, they're very supportive. So, and they actually are aware of our YouTube channel, believe it or not. So
there you go.
Aren't allowed to watch anything.
Yeah.
You never know, man. Like, actually, I look over and I'm scrolling through, and my mom actually had a question for you. My mom actually started eating this way.
Okay.
A couple months back. My wife started eating this way, so my family finally got on board. Like, after they saw a lot of results and whatever, and everybody, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, all of them have been on it long enough to start experiencing the results. But she just asked, what is your favorite place to eat out? She said, I go to steak houses and take out the sides. I don't know how to read or talk tonight. I go to steak houses and take sides home for my husband. What is y'all's favorite place there?
So you may not like our answer.
Well, okay. So
we have not gone out to eat in the last 3 months.
Occasionally, like if we're out grocery shopping and we get hungry, we'll just get burger patties from McDonald's, like a quarter pounder patty, and that's it.
But mainly just as a snack because we're hungry.
But we have not eaten out really since we started.
Yeah.
I know you occasionally, like I think you had you went to Chipotle and just got like a bowl.
I just got a bowl of like veggies and meat. Yeah.
But we don't really eat out. I mean, it's honestly
it's more expensive than cooking it yourself. So I guess in lieu of eating out, we prefer to spend that money on like higher quality meat, getting a better steak, smoking some ribs, and being able to have that at home. So we save our budget and we cook at home.
That's just brilliant. And that, like, I can relate to you guys on that one, because that was my thing. And at first I didn't go out because I was like, look, if I go out with people to a restaurant and I see something that I like, the first thing I'm going to do is do what I always do.
Right.
That's be on a diet for 5 minutes and then, grab a hold of something else. So, I didn't go out for a long time. And now if I go out, I'll sit there. I have no issues going out with somebody and not eating. So, but my wife got on to me after the second live I think I was on, because I made the comment, I just grill steaks at home because can't nobody cook a steak like I can. He's like, you do realize you just told thousands and thousands of people that nobody can cook a steak like you. I was like, I didn't mean it like nobody can cook a steak better than me like that. I'm just saying, like, why would I pay for a steak when I got a steak at home? Come on.
Yep.
That's when
you're cooking steak 4 times a week, you get pretty good at cooking steak, So it's just not worth it to us to go out to eat, really.
Yep, and I know that my steak's gonna be cooked perfectly to temperature, because I like a good medium rare. If it's too overdone, I just like nah. And there's been so many times you got to eat at a steakhouse and it's not perfect. You gotta send it back, and it's just it's a hassle. So
let's see here. I think so. What does it say? What is your meat that you? I don't know. Try to put it back in.
So which favorite meat that you eat? That's what it says.
Okay.
Whoever Peach Pyramid is, they say it again.
There you go.
Our favorite meat.
What's yours?
Mine's gotta be a ribeye, hands down. Yeah, ribeyes.
I love myself some smoked barbecue ribs. I think that's my favorite. Yeah, low and slow, 6 hours in the smoker. I was able to watch Patrick's video he made on that and followed it exactly. And I'm pleased to report that I am in my first smoked ribs. So now he can come home from work and I'm smoking ribs. Yeah. Dreams.
I bet you he's not mad about that either. So I got one more because there's one. I'll get this one before I get mine because I'll ask you guys later if not. What meats do you eat as a carnivore couple? Yeah, so there you go. He just covered that one too. So I'm gonna ask mine. Like, what is one thing that you guys have found since starting this way of eating that nobody told you about, that you figured out kind of like on your own? Can you think of anything that you could share like that? Like, man, nobody said anything about this, and this is awesome, or this is horrible, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, I tried, so we just buy regular, Angus beef usually. And I did try some grass-fed sirloin, and it was okay. It was very gamey, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. And also I did try ground lamb, and I did not like that at all. Like, because I'm trying different things.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing I've learned though is how to cook a really good steak. Because like before, I wasn't very good at cooking steaks, but now I really fine-tuned it. I use a thermometer, and it just comes out perfect. So,
dude,
one of my favorite things that I found was to make pork rind and mozzarella cheese carnivore chips. So you can bake those in the oven and then, dip them in cream cheese or just some other stuff to have something crispy, because there's not very many. I mean, bacon is a crispy option, but there's very few options for kind of like a chip type of thing that I found, so I enjoy making those. Yeah. And then it's not new, but I'd never tried to make bacon in the oven before. And that's all I do now. It's the easiest way. Because we're making bacon all the time.
Yeah, we actually have a video on the carnivore crisps, the chips. They're really good. So
I was getting ready to say I see a video that's one thing that you don't have to worry.
I was gonna say that's our most viewed video too, actually.
They're really good.
Those recipe videos, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one right there. I know it's a plant, but Mark and Chris Bell advocate Kratom. It's my last vice. I wonder how bad it hurts me. Honestly, do you guys know anything about Kratom?
I don't at all.
Not really. I think it's similar to like CBD, like it relaxes you. I think I'm not really sure though. I don't really know much about it.
That's about my look, I've seen it in the stores, and I know I've heard Joe Rogan talk about Kratom, and some people swear by it. I don't know enough about what Kratom is and what it does to be able to give you. Obviously, I'm not a doctor either, so I'm not giving you medical advice. But honestly, I can't advocate for it one way or the other. To be quite honest, I'd hate to say. Personally, I couldn't take anything that I don't want to put anything in my body that's not supposed to be there. I don't want to put anything in my body that I don't have to, unless it's what I'm designed to eat. So, I mean, like I won't even take my D3 supplements like like I should be, because even getting it that way isn't how I was created to get it. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of a judgment call you have to make on certain things. But I mean, if you take the Kratom for like a pain or something like that, I'll view pain pills like hydrocodone. I know my grandmother took pain pills up until the time that she passed away, and pain patches. She was in constant pain all the time. Yeah. And what I came to believe about that is that the pain medicine masks the problem. It doesn't fix it. We need to figure out what fixes the problem and not mask it, because if we cover it up, and I'm not saying this man is doing that. I'm just saying that's just my personal opinion on it. That's about as good as I can do for the Kratom friend.
Yeah.
Well, so what kind of health issues? Obviously, we know about your time in the NICU, and you know how that's been a big driver for you. What about you, Patrick? What kind of health stuff were you trying to reverse, or eat good as well? But did you have type 2 diabetes or anything like that?
So at my heaviest, I was 301 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that for a fact that I was snoring like a freight train. So I probably had sleep apnea. I didn't go so honestly, I didn't go to the doctor as much as I should at all. I only go if I'm hurt. So I really don't know too much, but I know I snore a lot. And she was telling me the other day that I stopped snoring already.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was addicted to sugar. I ate way too much sugar, so I'm pretty sure I was pre-diabetic because I ate candy every night, basically, and soda and just junk. And there's a lot of health issues in my family. I had my back was always hurting. I had really bad inflammation in my right ankle. I have like weak ankles, and I used to twist them and sprain them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my right ankle always would hurt me a lot. And over the last month, I've not really felt it hurting at all. So inflammation is way down. Just there's a lot of heart disease and like major heart attacks in my family on both sides, diabetes, strokes and cancer and all these health issues that I've family history of that I'm just trying to avoid. Going in, because I know that if I continue down the path I was on, that was inevitable for me, So I was trying to not let that happen, for the sake of our family. So that the biggest thing is just being morbidly obese and having inflammation and pain, and probably pre-diabetic. I never got checked, really, honestly.
And,
But
and those things are good enough reasons. And I mean, talking with people in the carnivore group that I am a part of, there's people all the time that come in that are a regular size. They're not overweight. There's people that don't have health problems. And, trying to explain to those people, hey, look, most of them coming in there are already on this journey for themselves. That's why they're there. But talking to other people, I've got friends, medics that I talk to all the time. Some of them could even be watching this show right now. And, I'm trying to explain, look, this is what carnivore is. It's not just a diet. It's not just, and it's not just carnivore, obviously, like I said, but when I say carnivore, I mean ketogenic, the whole thing, that spectrum where your body needs to land. That's why you got to figure it out. But I'm saying, I try to explain it to them. This is more so the proper human diet. Everything out there is created to digest and eat a certain thing,
Yes.
And so finding out where you can land on that spectrum is really irrelevant. This is the spectrum that contains what we're supposed to eat. So that's the main thing. Get on the right thing.
And I know you had some health inflammation and everything.
Yeah. So
too. So
I got my blood work done right before we started carnivore. Again, I was talking with my doctor trying to figure out a way to lose weight. And so thankfully my blood pressure was normal. I wasn't pre-diabetic, except for what happened during pregnancy. But the one thing that I've really suffered with ever since I was 18, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's got a long name. It's called hidradenitis suppurativa. And so what that happens is you get these like terrible lesions all over your body. And so ever since I was 18, it's gotten progressively worse. And so, but there's no real treatment for it. Basically, a lot of the times the treatment they recommend is just to lose weight or get on some drugs. And I didn't want to take any medicine, as long as I can, I want to postpone putting any type of medicine into my body. So I have seen a reduction in my flare-ups, and I'm trying to continue to take pictures the longer I've been on carnivore so I can kind of see the progress, because I have so many of these kind of, I call them spots, like on my body and stuff, that it's sometimes hard to see if it's getting better. So when I compare the pictures from when I first started to where they are now, it's definitely getting better. So I just hope that as I continue to go down this journey and my body kind of heals from the inflammation that causes this chronic disease, that I'll hopefully go into remission so I can feel like I don't know, sometimes I get them pretty bad under here and stuff, and I get pretty self-conscious about wearing tank tops and things like that. So It'd be really great if they could heal up. So, and I have noticed if I, do have a carbohydrate, then I'll get a flare up somewhere on my body. So I would have never noticed that before had I not been so strict carnivore to then noticed how like a vegetable or how a carb creates that flare up on my body. So that's been a really big benefit of carnivore to me.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that's what even Dr. Barry says it. And, I've echoed it for a year in the group, and I try to do that. So now carnivore, keto, they're not weight loss diets. They're elimination diets.
Exactly.
You eliminate food out of your life. And you do one of the biggest benefits that you'll have is being able to eliminate the stuff out to find out exactly what things are trying to kill you, like Dr. Chafee says. Like, because there's certain things, like, it doesn't matter how much you like that food. It doesn't matter. Like Brussels sprouts, for example. My mom loves Brussels sprouts. Sorry, Mom, I'm gonna call you out on that. She loves Brussels sprouts. I don't know why you would love Brussels sprouts. I can't eat one. They look disgusting to me. She loves them, and more power to her. Like, I'm not putting that thing in my mouth.
It's funny you say that because she loves Brussels sprouts.
I like them
too. Are you serious? Like, you need to hang out with my mom then. Y'all can have
only when you roast them and they get super crispy.
I'll take your word for it. No, seriously, like, but at the same time, like, my mom loves the Brussels sprouts, and so she does have them occasionally now, not as often as she was, but she's mostly carnivore, and it doesn't matter how much you love something if it's trying to kill you, though. Exactly. So it's like, I think where you end up on this spectrum and at the end of it, when it's all said and done, is where your body could tolerate.
Yes.
I don't think we should ride that line. Like, how can I keep 1 foot in and 1 foot out? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, going all in is maybe even further than you wanted to go to figure out what's hurting you. And then, you loosen up for sustainability, but you can't get too loose because you might loosen up. You might say, well, I'm going from carnivore to low carb. Well, your body can't handle low carb. It's too many carbs. So you got to move it back or whatever. There's a difference between trying to figure out where you can ride that line and figuring out what your body can tolerate, And
that's why, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
And that's why I felt it was so important for us that we started full carnivore, and it really helped me change my mindset around food because I had less choices to make around food. And it really helped me recognize my addiction to food and how I was using food in a poor way to deal with emotions and things like that. But then it also, like you said, as I'm slowly adding in vegetables, one at a time, it helps me, I'm only going to add one vegetable in maybe a week. And it helps me recognize, well, how does this one thing impact my body? And had we not gone full carnivore, I wouldn't have known that about my body. So like you said, it's a big learning process, and every person can figure out what works best for their body. It's not a one size fits all for people.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, I obviously I'm, some people are going to hear this and probably get mad and, whatever, because, I do advocate carnivore, and that's what I suggest. That's what I do, but at the same time, if you can't make it sustainable and you can't stay on it, carnivore, ketovore, none of it's going to help you because you're just going to fall off. You have to start somewhere, and then maybe none of us can be able to tell. I have done BBB and E since June of last year, and then carnivore from April to June when I started. And 2 nights ago I had chicken, and then last night I had chicken, and I'm like, man, I might actually have to come off this BBB and E thing and go like back, to just carnivore and loosen this thing up a little bit. And then today I was like, man, I am starving. And I went to the butcher shop and got some steaks, and like, I got me a big old chunk of ribeye and cut me some ribeyes and threw them on the grill. I was like, I can't do it. But at the same time, that being said, I do have to throw out there, I think that, the love, back to the love thing, like Ready, Set, Keto. I was watching a video from them earlier today. I love those guys. Yeah. That might be one of the funniest videos that I've ever seen with James. If you watch their video from today, he's got like he's eating some stuff that I would not eat, and but that might be the funniest video I've seen in a long time. So those guys, but you got to show love, man, because we're all working together for the same purpose. Even though they eat stuff that tempts me, I'm like, man, I want me a handful of that cereal. It's good stuff. Oh, those guys are funny, and they're such sweet people, man. Everybody, back to that. I know we already talked about that, but you can't state it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ron's got a question for you. Do you track your blood glucose?
No.
Neither of us have ever had our blood measuring a diabetic level, and so we don't have a way to track our blood. But I bet if you are struggling with diabetes and things like that, then it could be helpful to see how this diet and adding things in, is affecting that for you.
Yeah. How long did you say you guys have been married?
We didn't, but I did see that question in there.
Yeah, I did too, and it just triggered my brain.
Yeah. So June 20th is our anniversary, our 8-year anniversary. So
congratulations
on 8 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you guys. I wish you guys a lifetime of happiness.
Oh, thank
you.
That's awesome.
What about you and your wife? How long have y'all been married?
July the 20th, we will be married 21 years.
Wow, good for you.
Congrats.
Yeah.
It's for somebody keeps telling me I'm getting old, but I don't feel like it. Not anymore anyway.
Yeah.
21 years to the same person too. I should say that. My mom, my grandma and all them used to say, you got to clarify these days. I'm like, thanks for that. Yeah, something triggered my mind, and I thought about that married thing. So I don't know. Yeah, it's been good. And so you guys, I know whenever we talked a little bit before, you met in what, high school? She was coming out of high school. You were about in college, and how did that work out? Like, how long did you guys date before you did get married?
So we've been together since 2011. So we've been together 12 years. But I was first or second year in college.
Yeah, and I was just out of high school.
Yeah. So we met online, and we were long distance because I'm from Florida and she's from Nebraska. Yeah. So we were long distance for about a year and a half until she started going to school for college in Florida. And at that point, we were probably an hour drive from each other, so we would just see each other on the weekends. So about a year and a half, we were long distance.
Yeah, so the first time we ever met actually was in an airport.
Yeah.
It was just destiny then.
He flew to Nebraska to see me. Mm-hmm. So he's pretty committed.
That's pretty good right there. I like that. Oh man. And say hey to everybody in the crowd. Larry always tells me, he's like, hey man, you got to remember to look for the questions, and I'll get focused in on you guys. So hey everybody, I'm definitely glad you guys made it. If you will, hit the like button, push the video out, encourage these guys, man.
I'm looking back and I see
if you see anything that I missed, because I thought I hit everything.
I saw Carnivore Trucker. We know him. He's a subscriber, and so is Aliyah.
Oh yeah, a lot of people in here tonight. Charger, Mopar, and Ron Nichols asked the question.
Yeah.
Johnny just made it. I'm glad he made it. I try to always check to make sure that there's not a queue by the thing, because I always tell them, but if they come in late, they might not have heard it. So, John made it. Hey, how you doing, John? I hope you're having a good evening, man. Ron is actually, I've been trying to do a video with Ron. I think we're going to try to get together next week. He's got a very exciting story. I'm sure you guys are going to like that as well.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it.
Everybody posting in the comments how many years you've been married. That's goals, man, because I believe marriage means something, man. Sure. And I love hearing these stories. So like put in the comments how long you guys have been married. Some of you I see 36 and 40 years. Yeah. I mean, you got to start somewhere. That's awesome though. I mean, It's always encouraging to me. Like even like coming out of growing up in church, seeing some of those people who've been married, and they would recognize them for like 50 and 60 years and stuff. It just encourages me because I was always raised to believe you get married once and that's how that's
Yep.
it.
Right.
And so, but that's like another full-time job. So like
Yep.
added on top of everything else. But it's one of the blessings because I can honestly say that's one thing that encouraged me about you two. And I was like, man, I really want to talk with those guys because doing this together, so awesome. And it even so now, even though my wife's in there cooking a meal and like I smell it and it makes me hungry when I'm not really a time I'm supposed to eat, I still love it,
Yeah.
But on the other side too, like I would not be here today if it was not for my wife. Because, and I'm not just talking about my health, I'm talking about my stupidity. Because there were many times whenever I got into something dumb that my wife is like, look at here, giving me advice. And most of the time when I got into dumb stuff, it was because I wasn't listening to her to begin with. So she's definitely the reason why I am who I am today, because she invested in me as well. So,
our wives are a blessing, and they're very knowledgeable and have they're very wise. So,
and build you up. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
Imagine going on this journey without Patrick by me. He is such an encourager and such a great supporter. And he is the one who even found the carnivore diet. And so if you don't have an accountability partner, like we can be that for you. And I'm sure Shawn can be that for you. But having someone to help you stay consistent is so important. My mom is also trying to lose weight. She's going towards that kind of keto route, and my dad doesn't need to lose weight, and so sometimes he'll bring home chips or different things, and so it can be really hard if you're in a house or a family where you don't feel supported that way. So I'm just so blessed that we're on this journey together, and
we're in the trenches together, and we're just on the same journey to just get healthy, and doing that together as a couple for our family and our current child and our future children is just something that's can be very rewarding in the end. So
that's awesome. Yeah, man, that's encouraging to me. And like I said, I'm glad that that everybody's coming around you guys and around me and supporting us like they are, because it means a lot and it pushes us on the journey.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys got the baby to get back to and everything else. So, like, before we cut out of here, if anybody has any questions, get them in real quick, because I'm gonna turn it over to them and let them tell everybody that's just joining us where they can find you, where they can, all the places they can get a hold of you, where they can watch you on your live next week, and then I'll cover this question here and we'll cut out.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously YouTube is our main thing. Carnivore Couple.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is search that. We'll pop up.
We're documenting our progress. We do lots of recipe videos, just mindset, tell you what's happening, try to be very honest with what's going on with us, meal planning, all of it.
Yep. And also we do have an Instagram, and it's linked in our videos, but it's just look up Carnivore, Carnivore Couple, Patrick, Caitlin, you'll find us. But yeah, mostly YouTube is what we focus on. That's our main thing. So.
And then coming up this week, we're going to be having our first interview with Alia Wells. So be looking for that video coming up this week. She has an awesome channel as well. So we're going to be talking with her about her journey too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys, man. Listen, John just asked, do you guys drink coffee?
Yes.
I can't not drink coffee with a baby.
Yeah, we have a toddler, so that's a full-time job. So right. We do drink coffee. Generally, and we don't like black coffee. So what I do is heavy whipping cream and some stevia. I know that might be against the rules, but whatever.
It works for us.
It works for us, and it doesn't affect me negatively. I'm losing weight consistently, so I'm not really worried about that. So
yeah,
dude, I'm telling you right now, like I quit coffee for 5 months and then added it back in, and I still drink it now, and it never slowed me down. I'm not gonna tell. I mentioned that to Dr. Chafee, and he's like, coffee has 150 neurotoxins in it.
Yeah, I watched that live stream with it.
Oh,
I
goodness.
you ask Dr. Barry the same thing, and he'll say, "Oh, coffee's fine." You know.
Yeah, I know. I'm torn now.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if it just has 10 neurotoxins is okay. You know, I don't know, man. But seriously, I know it's a plant. I know it's probably got something dangerous in there, and like I've really been having a hard time with it. But like, I don't know. I have to work on getting it out again. But I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. If there's anything I can do for you guys, don't hesitate to say the word. And everybody, I want to thank all you guys for joining us tonight, encouraging me, just being there for us. I did mention earlier, Antlers was reminding me that the membership thing, I don't know if it's the membership or just the notifications, because they added the monetization to my channel this week. And so those membership stuff, the super sticker, all those different things are opened up. Make sure you click the notification bell, because I think it wasn't going through. If you're having an issue like that, please let me know so that I can investigate it. I don't want people to be subscribed and all those kind of things and then not be getting what they were told through YouTube. I don't know how to find out, but I'm going to find out. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you're more than happy to do that. Just hit the join button and pick a place, and glad to have you here. And we'll just add most everything that I make through here. The first $300, as I told you guys, are going to get those people some membership in Dr. Barry's group. I know that's weird. You're buying subscriptions to somebody else's group to send them off. Well, it's going to benefit them with their health in the long run. And we're picking people that definitely need it. And we've been going through those letters and all that stuff. So I feel like that's something that just passing on the love that I got. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
And so all that money, that comes from, whatever money comes from that, if you guys do that, that's what it's going for. And the rest of it will go into the channel. So thank you guys for being here. Yeah. Share this with somebody you might think it'll help. Encourage everybody. And we will see you guys next time. Stay strong and keep pushing forward.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
See ya.
Take care.